Hi, everyone. I'm James Webb of Steadfast Networks, and I'm here with Ed Dreyer, who is our Senior Technology Strategist. We're going to be talking a little bit about north-south, east-west traffic and how that relates to your infrastructure.
All right, let's take a minute and talk about east-west traffic on your network. As I was saying before, in your north-south, you've got your firewall, your switches, your servers, your workstations, etc. Now, when your workstations are talking to each other, such as printing things to the printer, your servers speaking to each other, that's the concept of east-west traffic. And that's important because a majority of the traffic on any given network is not going to be north-south, it's going to be east-west. And that is where the most risk occurs, which is why more modern network setups start taking into consideration east-west conversations, application level firewalls, and workstation level firewalls to protect networks from devices that are already inside the network.
Yeah, and actually, if I can interrupt real quick, I apologize. Uh, when it comes to north, south, east, west traffic, traditionally in like a north-south type of environment, 100% of the traffic is moving in and out of the server and the firewall and the switch. But now that east-west has become so prevalent, you can look back and even VMware will tell you that 80% of traffic now travels east-west between devices. And so just having security on 20% of your traffic is typically not going to be enough to really protect you to the level that you need.
Right. And also, when you're taking into consideration things like network costs and billing, the power of your firewall, the power on your switches, that's where the magic of east-west monitoring really helps. Because if you have a majority of your traffic running east or west, you don't necessarily want it to all be rolling through your high-level switches, your core backbone, and your firewall if it's just talking to the server next door. So there are a lot of cost considerations that can be taken into play by focusing your gaze on the east-west in addition to the north-south traffic.
So I guess when looking at someone's infrastructure and helping them understand what east-west traffic is, if we were to take a typical three-tier scenario, which would be web, application, and database, how do those communicate east-west?
This is a relatively easy explanation. You've got your internet-facing traffic, you've got your application, and you have your database. And those three things need to work together in order to provide a solution to your customers or your users. In this situation, you've got all your people out on the internet are connecting directly into your application server. And that's where they're opening up their app. That's how they're connecting to the software, so forth. Now, that application server, while it's really important because it's the primary point of contact, is not where the data lives. The data lives in the database server. So in a situation such as this, with managing east-west and north-south traffic, the north-south traffic is coming in from the internet to the application layer. And the east-west is running between the application server and the database server. And what you want to secure at all times is the traffic between the application and the database server is exclusive only to those two devices, and nothing else in the network can touch them. And that's an application level firewall and how it kind of applies in this scenario.
So Ed, if someone's interested in moving from just north-south traffic and kind of expanding into east-west and having more control over that east-west traffic, what kind of tools are available out there in order to do so?
Well, technically you can get this done with basic level firewalls and switches, but it's not a very efficient way of doing it. There are a lot of new technologies out there, but one of the ones that I find is most successful is a piece of software called NSX from VMware. Now, if you're familiar with the concept of virtualization in VMware, this is just another step in that hierarchy, which is instead of having virtualized machines and servers, you're also virtualizing the network switching infrastructure. Now, NSX accomplishes this by turning everything into a virtual module and also makes it kind of an object-oriented system. So you can take your security, firewall, and virtual switching rules, copy them, paste them onto server objects, attach them to storage, attach them to actual physical firewalls and things like that, and turn things into a really easily managed environment. Additionally, VMware also includes certain tools that will monitor your traffic for you and give you reporting on how your systems talk to each other so that you can create better optimization rules to make that performance better all the time.
So Ed, tell us a little bit about defensive depth strategy and how that relates to north-south, east-west traffic.
So one of the things that's important about north, south, east, west is when you talk about a defense in depth strategy. As an InfoSec specialist, as I was in a prior life, we would always talk about defense in depth, which is firewalls, servers, software, network, and so on and so forth. What East-West traffic monitoring gives you is another layer of defense. It helps protect your servers from each other in case one of them is compromised. Everyone's used to the concept of having a firewall, having antivirus, having anti-spyware, having anti-malware, and all these different tools at their disposal. Segmenting servers down to how they communicate each other is the next logical step of this. It not only provides you additional security, it also saves you cost. It saves you efficiency on your server level. It saves you time and energy and management of your traffic. And more importantly, just makes you operate more efficiently.